You are now listening to the Girl Organize That Life podcast. Coach L3.
Hi, welcome to the Girl Organize That Life podcast, where I am your host, Leslie Latimore-Lorfils, affectionately known as Coach L3. As a mother of 12, who has also served as a senior military officer for nearly 3 decades alongside my husband, I can certainly understand and appreciate who I call the 3C sisters: crazy, chaos, and confusion. If you are an executive level mom, mompreneur, or lady leader who perhaps still struggles with burnout, you have come to the right place where you can receive strategies and tips on how to pivot with poise and conquer the noise. I invite you to take this journey with us to increase your clarity, your confidence, and to conquer the overwhelm. Hope to see you there.
Coach L3.
Hey girls, hey, and welcome back to the Girl Organize That Life podcast, where I am Leslie Latimore-Lorfils, affectionately known as Coach L3, your host. And we are here today and we're going to talk about what it means to declutter your mind and your space, right? So today we're going to explore the art of decluttering both of those areas and how to improve your productivity and your focus. And this is especially tailored to you executive level moms, mompreneurs, and lady leaders. And I'm just going to share a quick story. I remember feeling overwhelmed with my cluttered desk, with my cluttered to-do list, until I discovered the magic of decluttering, right? And as Marie Kondo says, the objective of cleaning is not just to clean, but to live happily in that environment. That is so, so, so important. Do you find that, I know for me, when I declutter my space, when I declutter my mind, I find that I'm able to think better. I am able to show up better. I am able to just be better overall as a person. So we're going to talk about some of that. So the first thing we want to talk about what is physical clutter. You know, that includes all of the unnecessary items that take up space in your home, in your office, which can be especially challenging for us busy mothers that handle so many different responsibilities, right? And then the mental clutter is kind of the same thing, but only in your mind, those overwhelming thoughts, the stress, the information overload that clouds our minds, right? The common issue for those in leadership roles that, we are constantly making decisions. So our minds, we have to tease those things out so that it opens up our capacity to do more. It opens up our capacity to do more. And then here's the thing, listen, when we have decluttered spaces, when we have decluttered minds, here's the impact. Studies have actually shown that clutter can lead to higher stress levels. Who knew? Higher stress levels and decreased productivity. A study by UCLA's Center on Everyday Lives and Families found that cluttered environments increase cortisol levels in women. Now, how many of us have struggled with releasing weight? This girl has. And did you know that when your cortisol levels are increased, your body essentially wars against itself? You could be eating all of the right things. You could probably be getting enough sleep. You can be exercising. But if your cortisol levels are elevated, you will not release the weight like you should because your body is going against itself. So when you have a mentally cluttered mind, which can actually start from a cluttered space, a cluttered environment, you can increase your cortisol level. And that, I was just like, wow, that's just so mind-blowing. And then also, according to the National Association of Professional Organizers, 54% of Americans are overwhelmed by the amount of clutter that they have. And hear this, 78% of them don't have any idea what to do with it, or they find it too complicated to deal with. These stats are mind-blowing to me. So you're meaning to tell me that a lot of us walk around with all this stuff and we don't know what to do with it. Chew on that for a second. So let's go into that. Let's talk about how we can declutter our physical space. Let's talk about that. So first of all, because the clutter can cause a sense of overwhelm, and the whole point of this container, Girl Organize That Life, is to decrease overwhelm, is to decrease that feeling. So you want to start small. And as I've stated before in other spaces, you, me, none of us, we cannot boil an ocean, okay? We cannot build a city in a day. So we have to start small. So pick a place, right? Choose an area like a drawer or a shelf. Don't overwhelm yourself by trying to tackle an entire room at once, because you're going to get frustrated and you're going to feel like you haven't accomplished anything. You're going to be like that hamster that we talked about. You're exerting all the energy and you're not moving. Start small. And as busy professionals, we know that it's good to have self-management so that we can optimize the use of our time efficiently, right? Then, after you start small, ask yourself, and be honest with yourself, my ladies. Do I use this item regularly? Does it bring me joy? If not, it may be time to let it go. I'm going to say that again. If you don't use it regularly and it's not bringing you joy, it may be time to let it go. And when you let it go, be okay with it. I chuckle because we have these, oh, sentimental to me, or I've had it for so long. And we become emotionally attached to things that we really don't need in our space. And we're wondering why, when we look up, we're like, oh my God, where did that mountain of paper come from? Or where did that mountain of whatever it is come from? I've done it. Matter of fact, I just did it this past week. Like, oh my gosh, where's all of this stuff coming from? So I have to do the same thing this week. And then another thing you can do is, after you have started small, you've picked a space, categorize those things. After you've asked yourself if you really need it, right? Categorize it. 3 piles: keep, donate, discard. And when you do that, you may have to have what I would call a study buddy with you when you're categorizing. Because if you decide to put it in the discard, most of us, what we tend to do, we go back to that discard pile and you're like, oh, I really don't. No, I'm not going to discard that because that belongs to Johnny and he's had it since he was 2. And Johnny is now 32 and he's not thinking about the thing. And it's not going to edify his life any further. And he probably doesn't even know that it exists. But you, as his mom, you're trying to keep the thing. Now, I'm not saying get rid of sentimental items. That's not what I'm saying. But we really have to ask ourselves, why are we holding on to certain things? And is it edifying us? And is it opening up our capacity to do more? And sometimes more, it just causes more stress. Less is more type thing, right? And so after we do that, after we categorize, don't forget those questions that you're going to ask yourself. Now, once we do those things, adopt a one in, one out policy. So in other words, when you bring in something new, get rid of something old. It's kind of like a revolving door, okay? That way you kind of keep that momentum going and you don't create a bottleneck somewhere that's going to turn into clutter. Simple. And then lastly, put on your calendar like a regularly scheduled decluttering, session. Dedicate 10 minutes of the day or maybe an hour a week where you're going to review and say, okay, you know what? I'm going to use this time. Let me just look at this space and make sure that it's not clutter creep, I like to call it, that it's creeping up on you. And then you look up and you're like, oh my God, the mountain. Catch it before it comes. Now, here are some benefits. Let me just say, because we always want to know what's in it for me. Well, what's in it for you? You're going to have a tidy space that's going to do what? It's going to reduce your stress. It's going to increase your ability to focus. And it's more than likely going to increase your ability to be more productive, right? More productive. Princeton Neuroscience Institute found that physical clutter in your surroundings competes for your attention. And you probably don't even realize this. This is probably happening subconsciously. You probably don't know that it's happening, but it's happening. And what happens is this results in decreased performance and increased stress. And that's what we're trying to minimize here. Example, consider a minimalist approach to your workspace. Only keep what's necessary on your desk. For example, the computer, the notepad, the pen. Everything else can be stored away. So think about that for a second. If it's not that, put it somewhere. Put it in a box, put it under your desk. I don't know. And for mompreneurs, if you're home, create a dedicated workspace free from household clutter. That way, it helps to it helps you to switch into work mode more effectively because you don't have all the stuff that's around you as a mompreneur. You can then focus on your business and your tasks at hand without feeling like you have the laundry and the shoes and everything else around you. Let's talk about how we can declutter our minds, right? Ways to do that are, one way is to exercise some mindfulness activities. Practice mindfulness can help you to stay present and reduce your mental clutter. And you can try this by starting 5 minutes of deep breathing or meditation every day. And the deep breathing is allowing you to bring you to your center. That's number one. Increase the oxygen into your brain, which is going to allow you to think and bring more life into your brain cells. That's scientifically so. I am not making this up. This is what happens when you take a deep breath. It lets you get your equilibrium back. You ever notice when you take a deep breath, you just kind of like, it calms you? So that's truly an exercise that can bring you right back to your center. Also, once you adopt taking deep breaths, then you can try journaling, writing down your thoughts and your feelings to clear your mind. Sometimes just write it out. This can help you to process emotions and reduce anxiety, right? And then here is a big one. Are you ready? Drum roll. Digital detox. Ask yourselves, how much are you scrolling on social media? Limit your screen time. Reduce the number of notifications you receive. Consider setting specific times of the day when you check your email. That includes at your job. Managing expectations for your bosses and your supervisors. Listen, ma'am, sir, I check my email at 8, at noon, and at 3 p.m. This allows the hours in between for me to actually work on the tasks at hand that you have delegated to me. And it's also, if you don't get a very speedy response from me, it's because I am fully engaged in the things that I must get accomplished for the day. And so to help manage expectations, I do check my email at these 3 times. Every once in a while, it may go off schedule depending on if there's a hot mission, but typically these are the times of the day when I check my email. It's going to do a couple of things. One, is going to help manage what people can expect from you. And number 2, it's going to help you to manage the expectations of yourself. And it's going to keep you on a good rhythmic schedule so that you're not finding yourself glued checking your email all day, every day, and losing time on things that you can be doing. So that's a huge one. Then we're going to set boundaries. I've talked about setting boundaries before, but we're going to talk about that here again. Learn to say no. N-O. For some people, it means next opportunity. Absolutely. Being able to say, no, I really can't do that right now. I would love to help you, but I can't do that right now. I don't have the capacity. And also understand that you do not have to explain what that means. No is a complete sentence all day, period. Be okay with it, right? Overcommitting can lead to mental exhaustion. Do you all realize that? Overcommitting can lead to mental exhaustion. I'm going to say it again. Overcommitting can lead to mental exhaustion. So what I want you to do, I want you to prioritize your task and focus on what truly matters. And as a leader, setting an example in managing your workload is crucial. Your staff, they're watching. Your children at home, they're watching. Even your spouse, if you have a spouse, they're watching. Delegate the tasks where possible. Anybody that has taken any master class of mine where we're talking about time blocking, we talk about that where we talk about the matrix. And one of the blocks, we talk about delegation. Empower the people that surround you. Teach them how to fish so they can catch their own. And that takes the load off of you, right? You do not have to do everything yourself. You absolutely do not have to do it. If you haven't heard, I would like for you to try the Pomodoro technique. And that is when you have a task that you're working on. You'll work on it for 25 minutes, and then you'll take a 5-minute break. And this is going to help maintain your focus, and that's going to reduce burnout. We're going to power through for an hour. It could work. Not saying it can't, but I believe you will be more effective putting those breaks, putting a timer. I'm going to set my clock for 25 minutes. And at the 26th minute, we're taking a break from minutes 26 to 30, just to let your brain kind of recalibrate itself. Take a woosah, take some deep breaths, getting more oxygen to the brain, regaining your center. And then at the 31st minute, start again, right? If you're feeling overwhelmed with tasks, make a to-do list. You all know this. Prioritize 3 tasks to accomplish each day. Before the day ends, I must do 1, 2, 3. Anything after that, that's gravy. But if I can get these three things done, I will feel accomplished and I have reached my goal. Something psychologically happens when you set these things and you're able to check 1, 2, 3. Oh my gosh, that's 3 for 3. That's 100% completion. Psychologically, that's going to play dividends in your confidence and your ability to execute and just how you feel overall. Okay. For your executive moms, consider using a planner. You can use one that's in hand, or you can use your phone. I choose to use a combination of both. I actually use my phone. I leverage the alarm. I set my reminders to remind me that I have a task or something in addition to my calendar. So I'm looking at it to make sure I haven't missed anything of importance because it's so much going on. Balancing both of those areas, that's key to mental clutter, you know. Balancing both professional and personal commitments is key to your mental clutter, and it reduces your stress. Now, as far as integration, key things you can do. You can create a morning routine where it can include both physical and mental decluttering. You can spend 10 minutes tidying your space in the morning and another 10 minutes meditating and journaling. Easy peasy. Don't make this complicated. Simplicity is best. You can incorporate a regular exercise, a regular physical activity to help clear your mind and reduce the stress. We want to increase our endorphins. Doesn't have to be 2 hours in the gym. You can get up and do a 10, 15-minute something to help move the blood in your system, right? And then just keep a routine with it. You can have weekly planning sessions where you can set aside each week to organize your task and declutter your space. You can even have an evening wind down where you spend a few minutes each night tidying up and reflecting on your day to prepare for a restful sleep. We all know that sleep plays a big role in our success. 8 hours, that's what you need. So plan your day where your sleep is like your oxygen. You need it. You know, like, oh, I got 4 hours of sleep. That's good. Oh, no, that's not good. That's not good. You are interfering with your body being able to maximize itself, to maximize what it can do. And then just to share, you know, I've had a couple of clients share a couple of things. One said that she was able to transform her home office. She started by decluttering her desk. Then she moved on to her mental space by incorporating daily meditation. And she reported feeling better in like a week. That's huge. And then somebody else said that they created like a designated work area in her home, and it just helped her to balance her work life and what she was doing versus her family life at home so much better. And then that physical boundary that she created, it reduced her stress. So these are like some very simplistic techniques that I'm giving you all that you can put in real time. Okay. And so now we're going to recap what we just spoke about, because I like to keep these segments very brief but impactful. We talked about the importance of decluttering both your mind and your physical space, because we want to enhance your productivity, right? We want to enhance your ability to focus. We shared practical tips and techniques on how you can get started and maintain a clutter-free lifestyle. I want you to remember that decluttering is a journey. This is not a one-time event. And so as you're learning anything that we do here at Girl Organize That Life, it is a process. You came in with your DNA self. You came in with your habits. You came in with your upbringing. You came in with your how you see the world. You came in with all of those things. But here at Girl Organize That Life, we look for transformation. We look for you to be transformed at some point. But give yourself grace and allow time to do that. Allow time to do that. Start small and be consistent. The benefits to mental clarity and productivity, it'll be worth your effort. But give yourself grace when you fall short. It's okay. We're all human. Even I have to go back and revisit something like, oh, Leslie, you know what? You didn't complete X, Y, Z. Fine. Start over and make it a new day. Okay. And what I will say, we are going to get into other episodes, and one of which we're going to be talking about organizing your digital life. You don't want to miss that. That's just something that we're going to talk about down the road. So continue to come back, subscribe if you haven't subscribed, leave us a review, let us know that this is valuable for you. Click like, click share, tell your friends. Please come out and join us. If you would like to work with me further and go in and do a deeper dive, I do encourage you to go to www.girlorganizedthatlife.com and set up a clarity call or a catalyst call with me, where we can sit and we can talk about some of your specific pain points. But meanwhile, I look forward to you coming. I look forward to hearing from you, and I look forward to you just joining me on this journey as we transform our lives here. And remember, girls, ladies, moms, mompreneurs, boss ladies, ladies leaders, you are fantabulous. And as you go on through life, remember, you can pivot with poise despite the noise. I look forward to seeing you next week for our next episode at Girl Organize That Life podcast. Meanwhile, bye-bye for now, and stay awesome.
Coach L3.